This video will show you the machine's synchronized draft tool with ESPN. One thing I'd like to note about the tool with ESPN is when you're doing an ESPN draft, you have to use the Light Draft application. So I will click on Light Draft and I will be ready to do my draft with the machine. If I click on the Full Draft, I will have some problems with disconnects. And that's because the machine has to follow along with your draft picks in order to populate your board and give you correct recommendations. Once I've loaded my draft page and loaded the machine, I should have all of my information about rosters, scoring rules, any of that sort of stuff should already be imported into my league. If I want to verify that, I can go to League Setup, Starting Lineup Requirements. I can also check offensive player scoring rules, defensive player scoring rules, but I shouldn't have to change anything. One thing I do like to change is under League Setup, Draft Position Settings. This is a new feature we added this year, so some of the feedback we got last year was the machine from time to time would recommend kickers or defenses a little too early. If you don't like to take a defense or a kicker until a certain round, we now allow you to say, I don't want to consider a defense until round 8. I don't want to consider a kicker until round 12. And now the machine won't recommend them to you no matter what until those specific rounds. We also improved the base logic of the machine to help better understand that kickers aren't as valuable of a position, and defenses as well. Now, I'm ready to draft. And when I'm ready to do so, I'll go to Draft, Draft Pick Recommendations. My draft has just begun, so I'm going to go under Draft, Draft Pick Recommendations. And as you can see, it pulls my league's current picks and the players who have picked them. And you'll see Marshawn Lynch just went. So within a few seconds here, we should see Marshawn Lynch up on our draft pick recommendations. Next is Delaware Sharks. And once they are done picking, we will see this draft pick recommendations fill up automatically from what the machine thinks we should take as a player. We can also click this button, Make Recommendation Now, for my team, and we will see the machine's top recommendations as given by the machine currently. Down below, we see quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. We can select any of these positions sorted by total fantasy points. And that's their projected numbers they're going to score this year. Above, we see our projected chance to win the championship. Right now, it's at 7.9%, but we haven't made a pick yet. So, this is a 10-team league. I would expect us to have at least a 20, probably closer to 25% chance to win after following the machine's recommendations. We generally say we can double your chance to win. Ray Rice just went, so now within a few seconds we saw our recommendations, and the machine is saying Doug Martin is our pick. So now I'm going to go over here to draft. I'm going to select my player from ESPN, and since I like the machine's top recommendation, I will draft the player. Generally speaking, we say if you take from the top 3 recommendations to the machine, possibly even down to the top 5, you've very well increased your chance to win. So, if I really didn't like Doug Martin and I preferred our second player, CJ Spiller, that would have been fine to take him too. Anyway, we will see what my chance to win is when I come back on the clock. Okay, we've just went on the clock again, and I'm really excited about the player we were able to get. We were looking at LaShawn McCoy, Maurice Jones-Drew, and A.J. Green for a long time here. And A.J. Green just went, but we can still get LaShawn McCoy. So I've paired Doug Martin with LaShawn McCoy. And that gives me a 13.5% chance to win. Okay, we're back on the clock again. and we have a choice between Maurice Jones-Drew, Jimmy Graham, or Demaryius Thomas. And wow, I really like all three of these players. The machine's top recommendation is Maurice Jones-Drew. Man, but I really like Jimmy Graham. I'm going to take the machine's top recommendation, take Maurice Jones-Drew. So our three our running backs are Doug Martin, LaShawn McCoy, and right now it looks like our flex position is going to be Maurice Jones-Drew. So we have quite the roster we're putting together, and so far that's given us a 13.7% chance to win. We are back on the clock, and it looks like the machine has some quarterbacks it's looking at for us. And this is tough. I really like all four of these guys, but that Russell Wilson character in Seattle is looking like he might break out. So that's fine by me. We'll grab him, and we'll see what we get with our next pick. That should give us a 15% chance to win the championship, which isn't quite double yet, but we're closing in on it. We are on the clock again, and we have Reggie Wayne and Torrey Smith as the top recommendations of the machine. Marquise Colston is also in the mix. I really like him too. If Torrey Smith wasn't here, I would consider taking him instead. But I really like Torrey Smith. However, since I know a lot of these guys are following the ESPN draft, maybe I can take Marquise Colston because he's listed higher by ESPN, and hope that no one takes Torrey Smith for my next pick. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because I like Marquise Colston and Torrey Smith about the same. I'm going to take Marquise Colston, who's projected 0.2% lower than Torrey Smith, and hope that I can get Torrey Smith on the next cycle through. So we'll see how that works out for me. Okay, look at who we have available. Torrey Smith. So that worked out pretty good for us. We'll grab him, and we'll see who we have available with our next pick. But that gives us a 15.4% chance to win the championship. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't realize I hadn't turned the recording back on. But we're on the clock, and we have Reggie Bush available, and that's the top recommendation of the machine. So that's who we're going to take. And we're starting to fill some bench positions here. With the next round, defenses might get mixed in, but I'm not sure if the machine will recommend a defense or if it'll recommend another player. We will take a look, and it recommends the Bears and the Seahawks above Matthew Stafford and Andrew Luck. We'll see how it goes. I might take Matthew Stafford over the Bears and the Seahawks. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, just as I was talking about Matthew Stafford, he went. I'm kind of torn on this one too, because I like all three of these defenses, and Tony Romo and Eli Manning are the last quarterbacks left I like. But the machine is giving us a wide difference in the Bears defense to the next best defense. So we'll take the Bears defense and special teams here. They've started to go, so I want to make sure I get our top defense. Okay, we're on the clock again, and one of my favorite players this year is available, Josh Gordon. I really like grabbing these suspended players because I think they end up going way lower than they should. And that's because people are too concerned about the early weeks. If you build a good enough team, you should be in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, assuming nothing else happens, Josh Gordon won't be suspended. So his early season stats are going to be hurt a little bit. But later on, he's going to be a great value. And that moves me up to an 18.9% chance to win. Steve Johnson, the top pick, was the same percent chance to win as Josh Gordon. So that's essentially making the top pick. And I also saw Mike Williams was available, who's another one of my favorite players to draft. So hopefully we'll see him again, and maybe the machine will like him as well. All right, we're back on the clock. And Mike Williams and Steve Johnson are both equal chance to win. Kyle Rudolph had actually been a little bit ahead of them, but he got snatched up right about here. Jermichael Finley is one of the last tight ends I'm comfortable with. So we're taking a little bit of a risk by taking Mike Williams here, but I really like Mike Williams. So if we have to be a little weaker at tight end to have more great flexibility at wide receiver and the flex position, that's fine by me. Maybe we can end up even making a trade later on with our great depth we're gathering at all our positions here. All right, we're back on the clock, and Jermichael Finley made it through. So we'll go ahead and draft him. And that brings us over that 20% double our chance to win barrier. So we've doubled our chance to win, and all we've really done is just followed what the machine told us to do. We're back on the clock, and this is where I told the machine it could start recommending kickers. And our choices are really Steven Gronkowski, Demarius Moore, or Matt Bryant. I like Demarius Moore, but I can get the machine's top kicker right here with Steven Gronkowski. So we'll take him and be very happy with that pick. Okay, we're on the clock, and Andy Dalton is our top recommended player, and we'll go ahead and grab him. That sounds like a solid backup quarterback to me. It's not Tony Romo, but that's all right. That gives us a 22.9% chance to win. So we've really started to really pull away. Look at our slice of the pie compared to these other people. The next highest, I believe, is 12.8%. So we're at 23.1%. That's a crazy difference. All right, we just came on the clock again, and the machine is recommending Martellus Bennett or the Bengals defense. And I love Martellus Bennett, so I think he's going to have a giant year. So we'll go ahead and draft him as our second tight end. Okay, we're back on the clock, and the machine is recommending either Brandon Pettigrew or Justin Blackmon. I really like Justin Blackmon. Once again, he's one of those suspended guys that could really end up turning the season around in the playoffs. So that'll give us another wide receiver for our great bench of wide receivers. Okay, with our last pick, the machine thinks we should either take Brandon Pettigrew, Jared Cook, or Zach Miller. I actually like Jared Cook a little bit better than Brandon Pettigrew. So despite that 0.1% chance to win, I'm going to lose. I will still take Jared Cook, and that moves me to a 23.3% chance to win the championship.